We're over halfway through February, so I thought I would do a little chatty mid-month reading update. I started the month by continuing my read of Modern Divination, which I was kindly sent by Book Break, but I actually ended up DNFing this one. It was a slow start to the book, but I thought we'd got to the point where we'd established the story and it was going to get going, and then it just didn't. I got to nearly 50% and I just couldn't do it anymore. Absolutely nothing was happening, the characters didn't have any depth, and they really didn't feel like real people to me. The story was incredibly vague with no explanations at all. Like any normal person would have questioned what was happening, but our FMC seemed happy to be blissfully unaware. I really didn't like this, and at over 500 pages long, I just couldn't put myself through another 300 pages of it. After that, I just wanted something a bit more comforting, and I decided to go for a Harry Potter fanfiction. I read What Is Right and What Is Easy by Winter Sky 101. This is a really short fic about Percy during the Second Wizarding War and how he helps the Order. This was just what I needed, I really enjoyed it. Then I read The Love Intervention by Caroline Curry, which is an e-arc that was sent from Canelo. And I really enjoyed this book. This is a romance about a girl whose friends stage an intervention, a love intervention. They set her up with 3 guys from her past as they feel like she needs a break from work. This was so much more than your standard romance book. It had so much depth to it. It covered topics like grief, abandonment issues, generational trauma, and there was a real focus on healing. I feel like I got to really know our FMC. I ended up loving this. I rated it 4.5 stars. Then I read The Rising by Joe Riccioni, and this is the second book in the Branded duology. This is an arc that was sent from Angry Robot Books, as I was actually involved in the book tour. I love The Branded, the first book in the series. I rated it 4.5 stars, so I was very excited to see where the story would go next. Overall, I did enjoy this, but I felt like they tried to fit way too much in. This could have really done with being a trilogy. As a result, the pacing was kind of off, and there wasn't enough explanations for why things were happening, but they did wrap everything up quite nicely, so although it wasn't as good as the first book in the series, I did still enjoy it. I rated it 3.5 stars. Then I read The Surf House by Lucy Clark, and this is an e-arc that I received via NetGalley. I am a big Lucy Clark fan. I think she writes such good, readable thrillers, and this was no exception. This story follows Model B as she finds refuge in a small surfing community on the coast of Morocco after a dangerous encounter on the streets of Marrakesh. However, all is not as it seems, and pretty soon B finds out that a woman went missing from this very community 1 year ago. This book was so gripping, I couldn't put it down, and I read it pretty much in 2 sittings. It's full of all the twists and turns you'd expect from a good thriller, and it had the easy reading writing style I've come to know and love from Lucy Clark's books. If you're a Lucy Clark fan, or just a thriller fan in general, I'd really recommend picking this one up. I rated it 4 stars. So that's everything that I've read so far this month, but I'd love to know in the comments, how's your month going?